Hello, and welcome to the Ending Body Burnout Show. We are your hosts, Chris and Philly, co-founders of a multi-award-winning functional medicine practice, serving busy people with energy, mood, and gut issues.
While busyness, addictive doing, people-pleasing, and perfectionism might be the norm, it's not normal, and it's a major contributor to health issues.
Our goal with this show is to give you a holistic root cause approach to healing your body so that you don't have to continue doctor or diet hopping or popping a gazillion supplements hoping something might stick.
So get ready to heal your body, get your spark back, deeply connect with yourself, and step into the life of your dreams.
Let's dive in.
Hello, welcome to the podcast. Today we have another live root cause coaching session for you. I know you guys love these podcasts because on the back end we can look at the data around how many downloads we have per episode, and these root cause coaching sessions are definitely up there. So Chris coaches a brave soul live on our podcast all about when proving yourself becomes a headache. So the beautiful Caitlin gets coached on the deeper reasons behind her work-triggered headaches, work guilt, and the pressure to prove herself, and how these patterns can quietly keep your nervous system on edge even when life looks fine on the outside. So it is a really rare honor to listen in on one of these very personal coaching sessions. So a really big thank you to Caitlin for allowing us to publish this episode and also give this beautiful woman some virtual energetic love and compassion as you listen to this intimate coaching conversation. You'll hear how easy it is to fall into life hacks and coping strategies, and while real change often requires going deeper than just mindset and nervous system practices alone. Today's episode gives you a glimpse into our metaphysical side of healing inside our Ending Body Burnout Method. By the way, doors open this week, guys. So if you are interested in joining our program, just head down to the show notes and press the Ending Body Burnout Method link and come join us inside the program. The metaphysical side of healing that we do with our clients inside the program is a really critical piece that is often missed in the health industry. It gets to the very root of body burnout by identifying deep-seated beliefs and stories that are causing sickness and keeping you stuck from healing. So essentially the process dives deep into your brain, your nervous system, and your unconscious mind and rewires your healing abilities from within. So many clients who have shared their success stories on our podcast, 95% of the healing has happened inside of this metaphysical healing because essentially you're becoming your own self-healer. So doors are open. Come and join us. And if you wanted to learn a bit more about what we do have a free Rewire Your Brain to End Body Burnout event happening this week and next week. So there's 4 workshops that we're holding that helps you to rewire your brain to end body burnout. And we're taking you essentially through the steps that we take our clients through inside our method for free. So definitely worth coming along. Head down to the show notes to register your free spot. All right, let's dive into today's episode.
Welcome everybody to this episode of the Ending Body Burnout Show. We have a live coaching call for you guys today, and I'm joined by Caitlin, or joined with Caitlin. Joined with. I have Caitlin. Hey, Caitlin.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. All right. So thanks so much for jumping onto a coaching call with me. I'm excited to be able to serve and to help where I can. How would you like to be helped or served today? What would you like to get out of our time together?
Yeah, I mean, I've been on a bit of a health journey, and I think I've found some pretty solid answers as to the core reasons why some of my problems in the past have been happening. And there's layers to my burnout symptoms. Fortunately, I'm not in the red zone at the moment. I'm kind of in the orange or the green zone, but I've got some lingering symptoms. So I kind of think there must be something more that I need to work through to work out what it is that my mind's doing to cause these symptoms. And yeah, I kind of want to get to the root cause of it so I can try and intercept it a little bit more.
Cool. Okay. Could you do a little bit of a spiel on what that looks like for you? Like what sort of symptoms are we talking about? And if you give me a bit of a history, I guess you could say, what you've done, what you've tried, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah, cool. Been a bit of a journey. I guess it all started 2 years ago. I was fit and healthy, working a corporate job, and yeah, I was kind of a go-getter, did everything, tried to achieve my best at everything that I did, and I could squeeze a lot out of myself. And then basically overnight, I started getting chronic migraines. So I went from never having a migraine in my life to having one pretty much every day for about 3 months. And so it took me a long time to kind of work out what that was and what was causing it. I learned a lot about the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, and cortisol and how that all works. And through kind of stress management techniques, I was able to kind of get that under control. Um, and I also, yeah, I guess I did a lot of different lifestyle changes. Understanding the concept of burnout was massive for me. Understanding how I only had a finite like cortisol bucket, and that I was living in this like real fight or flight kind of zone. So I managed to kind of first get that under control, and then it came back quite badly about a year later, and that was mid last year. And I kind of was really stumped as to what to do about it. Um, I was quite, yeah, I worked obviously quite hard. I was quite stressed at work. I was trying to sell a house, so obviously there was lots of lifestyle factors. So I very much thought if I changed my lifestyle, I could get those under control. So I quit my job. I went overseas. This was also about the time that I first found your program, and kind of when I started putting two and two together about burnout. And so I got better when I went overseas because I had no real life problems on my shoulders. I was kind of living a false sense of reality. So my migraines went away for the second time. And yeah, when I was overseas, I was really healthy, which was amazing. And I was like, I fixed it. And as soon as I got back to New Zealand and reality, my nervous system completely crashed. And I ended up with chronic fatigue syndrome, where my body kind of went into this freeze. And that's when I started kind of taking your program a little bit more seriously, in terms of understanding the root cause of why. I read a lot of books around chronic fatigue and the limbic system and the different causes. And I very much felt like I had my trigger was something to do with a trauma loop that I was in. And so I kind of worked through my core belief and understood, that I was really trying to prove myself. When I got back from my holiday, I was trying to, start a business, and I was trying to, reintegrate into normal life. And my body just kind of totally freaked out and shut down. And after I kind of really got to the root cause of what was wrong, I was able to rebuild myself. So I'm very pleased to say after about 4 months, I managed to get my chronic fatigue back in control through self-talk. So when I would do anything that would trigger my symptoms, I would kind of talk to myself and tell myself, I'm good enough, or I don't need to prove myself, or I'm safe, I'm not in danger. And honestly, I was actually quite amazed how I managed to get better with the self-talk. So much better than any other kind of medicine route or anything that I had done.
Right.
That was like amazing for me. So migraines are gone, chronic fatigue has gone, but now I've kind of got this orange zone symptom, which is just chronic headaches. Well, I wouldn't really call them chronic right now, but I'm very susceptible to headaches. And the headaches are very specifically triggered by one thing and one thing only, and that's working. So yeah, it's I can keep them under control by microdosing my work. So I'm working for myself. I can work for 1 to 2 hour blocks at a time. I can do a bit of self-talk and tell myself I'm going to be okay and I'm not in danger. But yeah, I would really love to figure out why working causes headaches, and see if there's a way that I can, kind of get to the root cause of that, and then, could get to a situation where I'm kind of fully healthy.
Awesome. Cool. Okay. When you say working, what does that look like for you? Because I know my brother has definitely got a different opinion to what working looks like to me, and I definitely have a different opinion of what working looks like to my wife, to Philly. I think if she tried to work like I did, she would feel some kind of way, and if I tried to work like my brother, that would that would it would it our concepts are different. And
Yeah.
so what does working look like for you? What
I
should you
mean,
do?
yeah, I used to work 8 hours a day. I used to be a leader of a team and kind of have to show up and everything. And I actually think if I went back to that environment, I probably would get migraines again, to be honest. So
Yeah.
I feel like the headaches is kind of this milder symptom because I'm living a much slower paced life. I have multiple jobs. I find the diversity is really good for me. So my kind of previous career was in marketing. That's one of the things that I'm doing now. And then I also teach Pilates. That's a new career. And I'm a dog sitter. And interestingly, when I worked in my corporate career, the single biggest trigger for my migraines and headaches was talking. It was something about exerting my passion into every conversation, holding meetings. Holding conversations with people just triggers headaches. Uh, it was crazy. And I was really nervous to start Pilates because you have to speak for an entire hour really passionately to a room of people. And then, and sometimes for 2 or 3 hours at a time. And what's been really interesting is that I can teach Pilates for hours on end and not get headaches. Yet, if I'm in a business meeting talking about marketing, a 30-minute meeting with a client, and I've got like a raging headache for the rest of the day. So I've managed to kind of split my different work. Obviously, dog sitting is just an abundance of fun. I don't get any headaches from that, which is nice. So I've managed to separate it. I think actually doing the Pilates has made me realize that it's uniquely the marketing strategy type work that triggers my symptoms. And if I think about it quite largely, when I teach Pilates, I'm present in the moment and I can't really think of anything but the people in front of me and serving them. And the moment that the class is over, I walk out and I don't think about it anymore. Whereas the marketing work, which I'm doing for 1, 2, 3 hours at a time, maybe 2 chunks a day, so not massive, heavy days. I'm thinking about strategy. I'm trying to kind of prove my services or prove myself. So I think there's something in that. Um, I am looking at a screen, but it's not necessarily always screens that are triggering it. Like I said, it can be just sitting in a meeting with a client. And normally when the client is talking, I'm thinking big picture in my head about what value can I add to their business, or what input can I have to this conversation. And so I think it's something to do with strategy, something to do with proving myself, something to do with future thinking, because that seems to really trigger the headaches.
Yeah. Are there any other symptoms that you get, or any other pain signals? So you get the headaches, you did get the migraines. Um,
Yeah, so there's like for my what would you call symptoms? I call them like 3 layers. So
awesome.
when I'm in my kind of, but the bottom of the triangle is completely healthy, which I haven't been in a few years. But the bottom layer of the pyramid is the headaches. So that's kind of the most manageable symptom that I get. And it goes away after 6 or 8 hours. And I can actually sometimes talk myself out of a headache, or if I go, but with a bit of positive self-talk, or if I go for a run or do something really present in the moment, I can get rid of the headaches. The chronic fatigue and the loss of body function is the middle kind of pyramid layer, when I'm in that orange zone, or when I'm kind of when my nervous system starts to ramp up and it can't handle the kind of the lifestyle that I've got. I start getting the regular fatigue. It starts off just as like a byproduct symptom of the headaches, and then eventually, when it gets bad, it becomes just a daily fatigue. And then the migraines is kind of the tip of the iceberg, which is like when I'm in the red zone, and that's just like, it's the worst. It's just waking up in fear every day and being wiped out for sometimes 72 hours at a time with just immense pain. So those are kind of the 3 symptoms that I get, and I don't really get anything else really.
You smiled when you showed me your little triangle. You've thought about that before?
If you're lying on the couch for like 72 hours just in pain or something, you don't really have much to think about, do you? But when you start putting things together, and you start, like, I think over the last couple of years, I've been looking for answers with everything and trying to point my finger at different causes. And I had a low thyroid, and I thought, aha, this is it. If I go on thyroid medication, everything's going to get better. And then you look for these quick wins and things. And I think the biggest thing that I've learned is that there is no quick win. It's about changing, the root belief system within myself, to figure out why it is these things are happening, and rewiring the brain. But I think the biggest thing for me is actually learning exactly really specifically what my symptoms are and what triggers them, which is quite beneficial, because I can actually intercept it. So
what if this was a loving message? What if this was a Caitlin, 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 Caitlin. What if it was something like that? What if this was?
I mean, I've already kind of come to terms with that. It's the silver lining that I've kind of come to terms with, is that I was living such a fast-paced life that, if my body didn't give me these symptoms, then, the damage that I could have been doing to myself in the longer term, and I could have got worse illnesses further down the line, So actually slowing down and living a better pace of life is good for me. And I've actually created a really nice lifestyle, I think. Looking after dogs and a couple of hours of marketing here and there, and a bit of Pilates. I could have only ever dreamed of this lifestyle. So I'm grateful for that. But, when you're having a tough day, it's no easier.
Okay. The two things that come to my mind right now are what's the benefit and what's the cost. What's the benefit of having your migraines? Or it's more about the headaches now. It's not so much the migraines for you now. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the benefit? Okay, so let's just say there is one. So you can't it's against you're not allowed you can't say there
I
are no benefit.
I
What is the
mean,
benefit?
the benefit is that I don't work more than two or 3 hours at a time, which is nice. Um, and that I've broken up my day to very much be, you know, taking it easy, which is nice. I'm just lucky that I can get by, with my different jobs and things. And I had savings. Oh my God, I'm so lucky for that. But
Yeah.
it would have been a lot harder if I couldn't get by. But the benefit is that I have a nice lifestyle in terms of I won't take on more work than I can anymore. I used to be like a yes, yes, yes person, but I definitely I just can't anymore. So
Do you wish you could take on more work? Is there a part, like, if you're honest with yourself,
yeah,
do you wish you could?
yeah. I'm like constantly thinking of new ideas and wanting to when I'm not working, I'm thinking about I have the work guilt. So I just constantly think, oh, I should be working even when I'm not. So if I take a couple of hours off to take my dog for a walk or something, or catch up with a friend for a coffee, I get the work guilt, even though I don't even have a boss or I don't even have, my clients can wait. Then, like, there's no one really holding out for me, but I do wish I could work more. I don't know. I enjoy it, I guess. I enjoy adding value to these businesses. So
Well, that's a different thing, isn't it, though? Like, I want to work is different to I should work.
mm,
What one are you?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I feel like I should work, and that's why I get guilty. I get the work guilt when I'm not working.
Yeah.
But the reason, the drive that I have is like because I want to like prove myself to these businesses that I'm useful, that I'm, so I think I always kind of circle back to this word prove. And I think that was kind of a part of the core belief system that I had when I was getting over my chronic fatigue. Because when I returned from my holiday, I thought I had to prove to everyone that I, could make something of myself in a different scenario. And I had to, have the tidiest house, or I had to socialize, or I had to be as, fit. I really wanted to be really fit and healthy. And I think all of those things were to do with like proving myself to those people or to myself that I could do those things. And I think that's definitely a hangover into the work scenario as well.
What are you afraid of if you there's t- I feel like I really want to get this concept of working to you. Like, what do you get out of this? Because this is I'm picking up enjoyment. Like, you like what you do. You love the vibe. You
Mm.
love you.
I kind of
You're
like
very
helping small
blessed.
businesses. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the question?
Yeah. What do you get out? But why work? Like, I mean, could you do this for? Uh, like, there's the
I
concept
like
around
the I
charity
like
and that.
the yeah, yeah. I like feeling valued. I
Mm.
like it when clients say to me, like, oh my God, thank you so much. That was really useful. You were amazing at that, or wow, we hadn't done it this way, or you did things so much faster than we would have ever got done. Thank you. Like I do. I value that. I like helping them because I like to help small businesses, but I equally as appreciate the feedback.
Yeah, which is it's always nice, but there's the vibe underneath. Is this a insecurity driving this? It has to be if you're having adverse reactions to it, right?
Mm, yeah, I don't know. I've always been, I guess, like in high school, tried to succeed, tried to succeed. But I don't know. I think like in my family growing up, there was never any expectations on us. And so no one really had to do anything to be a part of the family, or there was no expectations put on us. So I kind of, and both of my brothers kind of went a bit AWOL, and I always felt like I wanted to make that up and be the perfect daughter and achieve everything to make up for, to prove my worth, I guess. And I think I've always kind of continued that work ethic through life.
The perfect daughter, the one that makes up for her brothers going AWOL.
Yeah.
Mm. What do you get out of that? What's the benefit of being that perfect daughter that makes up for your AWOL brothers? Hello, brothers, if you're listening.
Definitely not. Um, just making my mum proud, she deserves it.
Why does she deserve it?
Oh, very selfless person, great mother, kind, never asked for anything, never asked us for anything. That's why I always intentionally try to give back.
What happens if you didn't? What would that mean?
Mum wouldn't care. She loves me no matter what I do. Um, but I think I've just instilled this work ethic. I just to try and be so different to what my brothers were like, you know.
No, I
And
don't.
yeah, I
I
don't
don't.
know.
I
I
don't
guess
know. I don't know.
yeah.
And I think that's the thing. You want to be so much different to what you believe your brothers are,
Mm.
whether it be for you. I think your mum plays a little bit of a part in this.
I
You
think that's
want to do
kind
it
of
for
just
her.
where I got the ethic from, the drive. And
Uh-huh.
then I got, growing up, when you work hard, you get praise from your teachers or, mum or whatever. And then you feel good, and then you continue with that. And then, yeah, I guess I was the only one to ever go to university, and then good job. And, then that flows from the family dynamic, which was probably the driving factor growing up, to then getting that praise in a work scenario. I think when I was in my corporate job, I did get that quite a lot, having good feedback from, my general manager or my team or whoever in the business, so you do get that kind of feedback. And now that I work for myself, I guess I have to seek that from my clients. And that's why I'm always feeling like I need to continue working.
Wow. So, body burnout is. Have you heard this one? Body burnout is less about doing things or not doing things, checking the boxes, and more about having a relationship with yourself.
Mm.
Have you
I
heard that
fully
one?
maybe I fully believe that. Like in the start of my journey, I was so convinced that I had an illness, like a tangible physical illness. And I thought that it was, something wrong. I had every test done. I went to every doctor's appointment. I tried every different type of medicine. I tried this and that. Then I tried every lifestyle change. And it wasn't until and then I had the first call with Philippa, and then she was telling me, I think you've got some kind of root cause and root belief system that you need to work through. And at the start, I was like, no, I'm just ill. Don't worry, my mind's fine. I'm good. My relationship with myself is good. And then, I think, unearthing some of these things, and then also finding a solution for myself for getting my chronic fatigue under control through that, self-talk and through the relationship with myself, I think was massive. So I know that's where the problem is. And that's kind of why I took this opportunity to have this call with you, because I know that that's where the problem is. It's just getting to why work seems to be the one thing.
I think the obstacle is the way. So if this is the way you do anything is the way you do everything. So all roads lead to Rome. The saying the same thing but differently. So the way you do work is the way you do anything else. There's this commonality in the pattern. That's why it's a pattern. It's going to be showing up somewhere else. Here's another thing. Loss of rapport equals body burnout. All symptoms or pain signals or stresses are loving messages. And all dysfunctional patterns have limiting beliefs underneath. So if you can find a dysfunctional pattern, there is a limiting belief in there. If you find a dysfunctional pattern, or you have a pain signal, or you have a stress, it is a loss of rapport. They're all kind of linking in with each other. So if
I believe
does
that.
it make sense?
I believe that. Yeah, no, I believe that. There's a pain signal. That's the headaches. It's just working out exactly why my body is doing this. It's amazing how the body can give you signals.
Yeah, totally. And when we don't listen to them, when we don't give ourselves what we need, when we don't meet our unconscious needs, when we allow ourselves to run these unconscious patterns, the signals become full-blown symptoms. They become headaches.
And I thought I don't know, headaches, migraines, fatigue. I thought it was all so physically caused, but it's actually your brain that's sending the signal to cause those symptoms. So it took me a while to really grasp that. It's amazing.
Some things aren't stressful to some people, but they are to other people.
Yeah.
Man, you get me in doing, I don't know, accounting or something like that, something where it's all numbers and figures and clicking this and clicking that and creating spreadsheets, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm about to fall asleep. But you talk, my wonderful accountant, Julie, when I have conversations about this sort of stuff with her eyes are like huge. They're like flying saucers. She's like super excited to like dig into this sort of thing. So what absolutely drains me lights her up. And there's some things that I really enjoy that some people would be it would make them feel sick, or they just couldn't do it. But when we force ourselves to not listen to our wants and our desires and our needs, we can lose that rapport with ourselves.
Mm.
We get stressed out for different reasons as people.
Yeah. I used to sleep, well, I still do sleep stress a lot. It's been a problem for, like, since I was a uni student, but I would have the most stressful dreams, and I was scared to go to sleep because my dreams were just so stressful, but they weren't really always murderers chasing me with knives. Sometimes it was like I had a spreadsheet and I couldn't get the formula to work, or I was in uni, I couldn't submit my thing on time, or last night I had a Pilates class and it went all wrong and everyone gave bad feedback, and I did see a sleep therapist about it because, yeah, I mean, I sleep well, but I just have these like stressful dreams. And then they basically said that you don't internalize your stress in person. And when you're awake, you're very much a nonchalant, like everything's going to be fine, we'll sort it out, no worries kind of a person. And then you worry in your sleep. So I definitely kind of understand that.
Okay. All right. So we've got a lot of concepts on the board at the moment. If you could just kind of in summary, like with where your head's at right now, what question have you got for me? What would you like? Where would you like to go?
I guess, like, we've done this exercise and some group calls, trying to get to the core belief for you, ask why,
Mm-hmm.
to try and get to, like, I guess, like, there's a few different things. There's the proving myself, there's the trying to add value, there's the, wanting to be liked, or, wanting mum to be proud, or whatever it is. Like, I suppose I think, like, I kind of just want to see if we can explore a new why that maybe I haven't considered before, or gone deep enough into, that might link to these work scenarios. And that maybe if I'm kind of keeping that in mind, then I might be able to kind of harness this to intercept, or just consciously think about it, and then, talk myself in the opposite direction. And then maybe I will be able to get through 3 or 4 hours of work without having a headache, or maybe none, but we'll see.
Why do you want to work though? I don't know if you've answered the question. Like
Don't we all need money?
like work. Like what was that? What did you just say there?
So don't we all need money?
Bull crap. No. No. And that's I think you have a value around that. You have a need around that you're shooting all over yourself here. You're so ashamed of something. Don't we all need money? No. Not in the same way that you think.
But I'm honestly, like, right now, I'm earning like a quarter of what I used to when I had a career. I'm paying the bills. I got a little bit left over, to buy my friends birthday presents or whatever I need to do, or socialize. But it's nothing compared to before, and I'm fine with that. But I just need enough, which I feel like is kind of just what I'm getting now. But yeah, I think for me, there's more of a drive. Like, I can feel more of the fire in my belly rather than earning, is that I enjoy, like, doing good work and then getting recognition for it.
Yeah. That makes sense. And I think everyone does, but it's the cherry on the cake. You've still got this should. I should. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. There's the enjoyment thing. I want to, I choose to, you choose to do, I don't know, what's something? I choose to be a dog sit. You chose dogs and not chickens. You're making choices all the time. So there's things that you enjoy and you're leaning into those things, it sounds like. But then you've still got these, it's different to want. There's a should in there. I should be this. I should be that.
I think I was very proud of the career that I had previously, and that I don't want it to, that's, if I completely leave that line of work, that side of me would go rusty, like the marketing career. It's a very fast evolving industry. So another should is that I feel like I should keep myself current as well by continuing in that work. And also I've kind of worked my way up a lot higher in that industry. I'm an absolute newbie at teaching Pilates, but I'm enjoying it. But I've earned my stripes in marketing, and so I kind of want to keep that skill alive by working for these clients. And I guess previously I just did work and I got it done, whereas now I've got to prove myself to these people to want me.
Or else what?
Yeah, I guess just, I don't know, that I won't be good enough for that. Yeah, I would have to probably go out and find other work, but I'm one of those people that really takes bad feedback, or I'd take it on badly, I like everyone to like me. And if I get constructive feedback, or if someone doesn't like me, I struggle a lot with it. Very much a people pleaser. And
Still.
yeah, always. Sorry, I've got a
Always.
dog. I've got a 4-month-old puppy under my desk, and she's biting me, and that's why the camera gets shaky.
What kind of puppy?
A golden retriever.
Oh, man. Awesome.
Yeah.
I like where you're going with this. I take bad feedback badly. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I do. Recently, I had some feedback in the Pilates space from a client, and I really didn't take it well. Although I knew it was constructive. And I took the fire in my belly, the feedback, and then I went and I very much so corrected it, and then got good feedback, and I felt much better about myself. Yeah. And so, but I've never really had that problem so much in the marketing space. Everyone's always kind of respected my thoughts and things. So obviously I want to continue that.
Yeah. It tickles your itch. You feel good. Hello. Amazing.
At least I've got her to put a smile on my face every day. I'm very happy at the moment.
Yeah.
Very happy, which is nice. But yeah, just a little frustrated.
Yes. Yeah, I can get that. So, okay. So the scientific definition of frustration is you want this, but you get that gap. And that gap, that tension is frustration. So I guess where I'm trying to say this a few different ways. You want something, but you're getting this, and that frustration can be expressed as shoulds. I should be doing this or I should be doing that. A part of you, it sounds like a part of you is really satisfied, really happy, is like, this is what you want and this is what you're getting. It sounds like you're really enjoying your lifestyle. You feel, I think you use the word, you feel lucky, you feel blessed, you feel good about what you've got. I mean, the lifestyle aspect, like a part of you really loves what you've got and what you've built for yourself right now. Hey.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Sometimes I pinch myself. I'm like, I can't believe this is my day, looking after dogs and, teaching a little bit and working a couple hours here and there. God, it's the only thing that you can dream of is living such a chilled life.
totally.
But then it's just like when I do sit down and I'm like, okay, get serious, let's do some work. I get really deep into the work, and I like start pouring myself into it. And then, and then I step out of the moment and then I'm like, oh, really bad headache. And then, the in person as well, having client meetings, whether it's like on Teams or at their offices, getting
Yeah.
really kind of like consumed in the moment. And then when I step out of the meeting, it's like a raging headache.
Yeah. So how did you lose your rapport with yourself then?
Yeah, frustration. Like, how did I lose the rapport? I don't know. I guess like while I'm working, there's probably like self-talk. Am I good enough? Have I proved myself in this moment? You know, is the client going to like the work that I'm doing or whatever?
Yeah, because that's a different vibe to, oh, sweet. We get to, like, in the same sort of way that, like, you play with that, your golden retriever puppy is like, like puppy play and all this sort of stuff. Like, there's a vibe for that. Do you know what I mean? Like that, like
Mhm.
it's just joy that, or whatever it is
Yeah,
for you, and you're choosing it, and it's just the best. Like, you love it. And then you there's a difference, there's like an expectation or a judgment and a vibe and a perception about yourself. That's the should. You're shooting all over yourself, when you're
yeah,
doing the
yeah.
work.
I think like, when I do the dog stuff, I have no perception. I don't need a perception of myself. When I do the Pilates stuff, I'm like, a bit nervous because I'm so, green and such a newbie in this industry. But whereas in the marketing stuff, I'm like, I should be really good at this because I've been in this industry for 10 years and I've got this, they're expecting me. I should be this, I should, and then, you know, then
Yeah.
obviously that causes me to get headaches or whatever.
Yeah. So there's a vibe. There's a vibe. Now,
I guess,
does it
an
make sense?
expectation of myself. Yeah.
Because you could have that would be a low vibe. It's, I have to, I need to, I've got to, I should, I better, you're a slave now. You're making yourself out as a slave. I have to, I've got to, I should, I better, I need to. Do you get what I
Mm.
mean?
Hmm.
You've got these shackles. You're locking yourself into the
It's
way.
like they always tell you to reframe phrases when you do things where you say, I should, I have to, that I get to,
Yeah.
I get to work or I get to, yeah. Like
Which is
in
true.
lots of different ways, yeah.
But then it's a little bit gaslighty, isn't it? Like, you force yourself to say these different ways. It's like, I shouldn't say I shouldn't. I should say I get to.
Yeah, yeah. But weirdly enough, like with the chronic fatigue stuff, like as cheesy as it was, I used to walk around the block, like as far as I could walk without getting tired, and I would just say, "I'm safe. I'm not in danger. I don't need to prove myself to anyone. I'm good enough, and it felt really corny saying these things out loud to myself as I walked around the block, but it worked. Even whether it was real or fake, my mind was listening to what I was saying.
Yeah. Okay. So, and have you had a chance to explore that same sort of strategy with the migraines
Oh, with the headaches and
and
the
headache?
self-talking.
Sorry, my
A little bit, like if I feel it coming on, I'll I'll try. Or if I'm in a meeting with a client and I feel the headache, I'm like sitting there and I'm like, I'm safe, I'm safe. But at the same time, if I'm thinking that, I'm saying that, then I don't have capacity to listen to the other person and respond to them. So it doesn't really work. I normally end up just doing that on my drive home, talking to myself to try and calm myself. But by then, I've already got the headache. So it's kind of difficult. But I don't have a lot of meetings, which is good.
So that's an
But
example of your boundary. You've let the wolf into the boundary, or you've let the sheep out of the boundary. Whatever, you've got your boundary. You know your boundary, and you've got a real feel for how much to work and when's too much and all this sort of stuff. But then I don't have time right now. I have to listen to the client, that, which might be true, but at what cost?
mm, yeah, I mean, I think I have told myself, like, yeah, if you're going to take on more work or if you're going to have client meetings, it's just a part of it that you're going to get a headache. Like, it's just going to happen. There's not really much I can do about it unless yeah. So even one client I had, he knew about my health issues and he was a good friend of mine. And, I only had a 30-minute meeting with him and I told him, like, I'm going to talk slow and I'm going to take breaks and don't worry, I'm fine. And still 30 minutes, walked out of there with a banging headache for the rest of the day. But yeah. So even when I put barriers in, it didn't seem to work. So I've kind of just accepted that if I have client meetings, I don't do anything afterwards because that'll just be me for the rest of the day. But the working from home, just working on a project for a couple of hours, like if I could try and eliminate the headaches then, and yeah, maybe like you say, is trying to find those little moments to just, even if it's like every half hour, just step away and check in with myself and see if there's any like limiting beliefs that I need to intercept before coming back to it, rather than normally I'm kind of like deep into a project, and then by the time I mentally step out of it, it might be a bit late.
It's a bit late and it's too hard. Like when you're in the middle of it, it's kind of hard, right? Like to pull yourself out. When you're in the middle of a sprint, it's hard to catch your breath.
But I'm lucky that I'm at home. There's no one in the office. I'm not in a scenario where it's deemed rude if you step away, So where possible, I try and integrate little, walks with my dog or puppy breaks or just breaks and things. So, I have the capacity to find these interceptions and things. It's just making time for it.
I'd argue that you've got a belief about yourself when you either contemplate having those stepaways or even changing the environment. Like I had a coaching call this morning on the beach. I got out of the office and I was literally on the beach on Zoom.
True. I mean, I have that flexibility, right? I mean, I don't do it often, but like when I was traveling overseas, I love just taking my laptop to a cafe and sitting somewhere with a nice view and doing some work. And funnily enough, when I'm in a different environment, I get more work done. So yeah, it could be nice.
I guess the point, it doesn't matter what you do. Like Philly could never do that. She just doesn't feel, it just doesn't feel right for her.
Mm.
Like the vibe. She enjoys sitting down, or standing up. She stands at the kitchen bench and she just clickety clacks away. I'm way too tall to do that. So I'm either in my hammock or I'm out on our trampoline, kick the kids off, and I'll lay on my, and I'm like on my back, like typing. It's a different environment.
Yeah, I mean, where possible, like, yeah, it's hard. Like, yes, I like sitting outside with my laptop and like basking the morning sun, but then at the same time, when you're like designing something,
Yeah,
working on systems or yeah, different software systems and things, like you're like, I want my two screens, you know.
totally. Yeah, same, totally. Yeah, which is why I'm doing our podcast episode here in my studio, because I'm the same. I've actually got one, two, three. I've got four or five if you include like when I use notes on my phone. Yeah, that makes sense. My point is, what do I need? And I listen to myself. And I said to Philly this morning, I've been at rehearsals for the past month in a dark theater and indoors, recycled air, dust, and all this sort of thing. And I just wanted to go out. I wanted to be on the beach. It's really cold in Tassie, or it was windy anyway. But yeah, it was really nice. So what do I need? And I listened to myself, and I got it. I did it. Any time that I have this little spidey sense that, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. It's like, what is that? What is that? And then
Yeah, I think that's one
peace.
thing that I'd like to learn to intercept, is that, because I feel that often multiple times throughout the day when I'm taking the afternoon off to do something different, or even when I'm doing a different job and then I should be working on this other client, you know. I would love to not get that kind of should work guilt,
Mm.
because I've got more days in the week and no one really cares. It's just me. It's all internal pressure. And I think when I was in my corporate job, all the pressure was internal as well. It's always coming from within rather than external.
So this is the question. What does it mean about me if I didn't? Or what would it mean about me? What does it mean about me if I don't? You know, is that there's going to be
Mm.
some sort of a perception, some sort of a belief about you if you don't, or if you do. You know, the shouldn't is anytime you hear yourself or notice yourself, or anybody else, by the way, you know that I call it shoulding all over yourself. It's just crap. You get stuck up should creek, you know, and
So I
there
guess,
has to be a
well,
meaning.
yeah, I guess what does it mean if I didn't, my fear, like my internal belief is that people will think that I'm not good enough or not like me or something. But I suppose having that question and having that piece of information, what can I do about it? How can I convince my mind otherwise?
You can't, not with that, what you just said. People will think that I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
People will think that's deep, but it's not deep. There's a deeper one than that, and it's about what you think about you.
Mm.
So if people think that you're not good enough, Caitlin, what's the problem with that?
I mean, it's the way I perceive it, right? Does it really matter if people think I'm not good enough? Yes or
Don't
no? Does
don't logic this. Like this is going to be an emotional thing. This is if you haven't done a good enough job, if you get a 1-star review or something,
I
or,
mean,
or
I will shit on myself. Like I will have self-confidence. Like I'm typically such a confident person, but I have experienced a little bit of blows to the self-confidence recently. And yeah, so it's like fear of that,
And
Like, if people don't think like highly enough of me, I will be mean to myself. They don't really care, it's just business.
what way would you be mean to yourself? Like, what's this look like?
That's Yeah, I guess the other day when it happened to me, like I was just brain fog. It was like I was levitating out of my body because I was just feeling so, I don't know. I I my physical, my head, I just felt so out of it because I just couldn't think. I think it was just yeah, I had a class that I taught, it didn't go that well. And then I just started spiraling, self doubt, self confidence. Am I good enough? And then I just had to go to the supermarket and walk around like a zombie for like half an hour because I couldn't bear the thought of going home and thinking I should do work. And at least going to the supermarket was a distraction. And interestingly, when I ended up going home and doing work, it made me feel better because I felt good about myself again, because I felt worthy.
Yeah, that sounds like a template for sure. That you felt your worth was in question. You changed your state, your physical location, what your body was doing. So you walked around the shops. Uh, you call it distracting yourself, but literally what was happening is you're getting into a different state. You know,
Mm.
you flicking a switch, the off switch on one thing and the on switch on another. And then you came home and you felt good because you weren't in that I'm not good enough state anymore. Wait, did I say that right?
Mm.
I'm not good. Yeah, you were in a different state. So you felt good.
Yeah. And then I think, doing some quality work at home that afternoon shifted my state again. And then I felt worthy again. But there was definitely a um, self-deprecation, kind of like I was definitely being, my reaction to what happened earlier that day, definitely I wasn't being very, kind to myself. I couldn't help it. I was very conscious of what was happening, but it still happens.
Yeah. So yeah, we call that managing. It's where you're just when the self-doubt comes into question, you manage it. And then
Mm.
you get it under control again. So that's managing. Whereas if you end it, you sort it out, the worth doesn't even come into question anymore. And so when you do go to
Yeah.
work, it's from a high vibe.
Yeah, I mean, that would be amazing. Like, one of my biggest skills I've always had is that no matter what's happened to me the day before, if I go to sleep, I wake up feeling fine the next day, which is fantastic for getting through shit stuff and for resilience. But I think I just bury it all in the past. I don't actually face anything. And like you say, like, if I have, I'll just get those doubts or have those problems again instead of just like stopping them from surfacing. That would be amazing.
All right. Well, there's three things we've talked about today that bring your worth into question. Uh, one is work itself, kind of whatever it is. Not so much dogs, it sounds like. More around the Pilates and marketing. Um, and then also time, like what you do with that resource. And we've also talked about, not a lot, but we talked about money as well. There's some shoulds in there, some frustrations, but there's also some, you're meeting all your needs, you're ticking all the boxes, but if you're in your heart of hearts, that I bet you $1,000,000 Monopoly money that you'd there'd be a part of you that has some sort of frustration or resentment.
Yeah, for sure. it would definitely be better if I didn't have these issues, but I do like to live in the silver lining and think about how far I've come and how cool my life is now. So
So cool.
it's
Yeah.
all good. Yeah.
It is. And now and so now the idea of pleasing others is proving to be a real headache for you.
Mm. And I think, yeah, it's because of the way that I react towards myself.
I like that because of the way I react. Did you say towards myself? Is that what you just said?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The idea of pleasing others is proving to be a real headache. And because of the way I react towards myself. Another one would be, it's not just about pleasing others. It would be about the way I receive validation from others or outside or external to myself versus internal validation.
Mm.
There's going to be this I'm not good enough belief about myself. This is me speaking in your shoes. uh, there's a I'm not good enough belief, and how that shows up is proving to be a real headache, metaphorically and actually
Physically.
literally.
Yeah. So what do you think that I should try and have better, like, validation towards myself in terms of, like, yeah, the value that I can add versus having to seek it from elsewhere?
Yeah. Do you like it when people just speak really straight, or do you like a little bit of pussyfooting around the edge?
Straight's fine.
Cut this bullcrap out. You are a smart woman. You, I, I mean, I've spoken to you for about an hour, and I know that I get that feeling. You're a smart person. You know things. You have skills. You have talents. I mean, it sounds like it. I haven't checked your work like a school teacher. I haven't given you any gold stars or ticks, but I'm almost positive you're good at what you do, good enough. But even if you weren't, you are enough, and
Mm,
you always have been. You always
yeah.
have been enough, and you bloomin' well always will be enough. However, you will never be perfect. Sorry. You will never ever reach that impossible target. You will never be enough to rescue or save anybody else.
Yeah, I think I need to stop raising the bar
Yeah.
because that's always been a problem. I think, like, thinking I'll be enough when I reach this milestone, and then you reach it and then you just expect more from yourself.
Totes. 100%. So you've got the template, you feel the feelings, brain foggy, levitating out of your body kind of thing. You go change your state. That's walking around the shops or whatever, walking the dog, playing with the dog, or sitting there staring at whatever the heck. Change your state. I think, in my personal experience, I think when you're doing this work, it's easier to do it before or after a significant event. In the middle of that Pilates feedback experience that you had, it would have, and I'm pretty sure it proved harder, not impossible, but more challenging to regulate your emotions, remind yourself I'm good enough, blah blah blah, change your state. It's harder to do that in the moment when when your fuse is lit, when the switch is blown. It's kind of hard, not impossible, but
Mm.
harder. But after that, it's there's time and space that you can address these things, and then before the next time happens again, it's you've got time and space to look at what you believe about yourself, where you see yourself shooting all over yourself. What does that mean about me? I'm feeling like I'm not good enough again. All right, well, where did this start? Why do I do this? What's my role in this?
Mm. Yeah, I think like when I'm kind of having these bad moments of self-confidence, yeah, you're right. Like I go on this like total should train and they should be good or people expect better of me, blah 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 blah. And then the times when I'm trying to have this positive self-talk is a completely different moment in my day.
Yeah.
And that really I should try and be more observant of when I'm having this negative self-talk and then try and intercept it then rather than spiraling at the time.
Yeah. Almost like I remember to come back to that, or oh, clearly I got to revisit that when I get home, or when I'm blah blah blah.
Mm.
But that's a promise. You're making a promise to yourself. And if you make a promise to a loved one and you don't keep it, well, your rapport with that loved one is diminished. And so that's what happens with ourselves when we don't keep our word, when we don't keep our promise to ourselves, when we speak mean words about ourselves, our rapport gets tarnished.
Very true.
Yeah. All right. So based on our convo today, you're aware of a bunch of stuff. What's your intention? What are you going to do about it? What's next for you?
I think when I'm working, I just want to be kind of aware of where I'm at, kind of check in with myself, have a how close to the threshold am I? Do I need to intercept? Do I just need to take a moment for myself? Just if I'm pressuring myself to push a little bit further with any projects or do a little bit more, it's asking myself why, and I guess noticing those shoulds. For why? Is it because I'm enjoying this work, or is it because I think that I should be doing it, or they will expect this of me? And then, yeah, I think that's kind of, yeah, the work thing, taking those moments, structuring my day, and then, the self-doubt kind of side of things, and it's, yeah, I think trying to incorporate these, this positive self-talk into those moments as well, not just making the two completely isolated, is, yeah, I think like you say, that I probably say should a little bit too much to myself. And yeah, yeah, exactly.
Love it. All right. So, and then the last one is, how can you be mindful of checking in with yourself? Like for me, I have little post-it notes. I love post-it notes. You can't see, it's off camera. I've got a board there. I'm always using post-it notes. What's your version of that? How can you be mindful of checking in with yourself, asking yourself why?
Yeah. I've only kind of had this desk set up for like a few months and I probably haven't completely settled. So whether it's something visually that I can see, maybe something on my computer screen. I'm sure there's some sort of app that I can get up from my computer that even pops up every once in a while. I think just taking a little bit of time to look into it and then play around with what works for me. I think, I don't want something that I'm just going to swipe away every time, like a notification or an alarm. Um, you know, I've got some little picture frames, and I was going to put some pictures of my cat and my dog up. So maybe I put just a little statement to myself along with it. So when I'm looking at them and feeling happy, that's the other thing that I was really important for me when I overcame my chronic fatigue, was thinking about happy things and in bad moments. And like when looking at pictures, I would think I was a visualization of my cat, my dog, my partner. And I think having a picture of my cat, my dog next to my desk and just taking a moment to look at them and feel happy, actually, thinking out loud could be quite massive, even though they're probably sitting right behind me in there.
Yeah.
But I think it was massive for me. It's just really taking a moment to fill my body with like oxytocin, thinking about how happy my life was. It was huge for me when I worked through my chronic fatigue, and actually I could probably use that when I'm working as well, to just kind of remind my body that I'm safe, because there's just only happiness around me.
I love that. I love it so much. Cool. And I think that the last question that's still kind of in play here is these beliefs about yourself. If they keep popping up, there's probably a reason. You probably have this as a requirement to dig into and to address at a deeper level, this I am not enough type thing. So I guess I'd probably, if I could give you some homework, that would be Coach Chris homework would be work on that, figure that, get to the bottom of that, this neediness, this pressure, this obligation.
Yeah, I mean, I've never journaled, but I mean, apart from when I travel, I do a bit of it. But yeah, I think I could finally be ready to break that barrier, and just writing some of these things down, and even just seeing if I can, if putting things on paper, I can normally speak to myself a little bit more expressively. And it could be a good time to give that a go, or even just use it to write gratitude for myself, or positive self-talk. Just another way to reiterate that.
Perfect. Sounds good. Alrighty. And you can revisit your outlets as well that we've got, specifically the ones in past state, where you go into your limiting beliefs and then culminating with an effective apology. That would be good if you've still got those around. Dig those out. Yeah. All right. Well, Caitlin, it was lovely chatting to you. Thanks so much for trusting me to have a conversation. It was lovely. Thank you so much. I'm grateful for you.
I appreciate it. Thanks for your time. And I think it's just been nice to reflect on everything out loud. I think I'm constantly reflecting in my own head. So just to have someone to talk out loud with it has been really beneficial.
Awesome. Thank you. That's awesome. All right. I don't know when everybody else will be listening to this, so thanks everybody in the future for listening to this. And I'll catch you guys later. All righty. Thanks, Caitlin.
Bye.
See you another time. All right.
See you.
Catch ya.
Thank you so much for listening. We so appreciate you. If you'd like to give us extra smiles, drop us a review and spread the love by sharing this episode.
You can also rate your own state of burnout and the root cause contributors by taking our Ending Body Burnout Assessment on our website. And if you're interested in learning about our group or one-on-one Ending Body Burnout programs, shoot us a DM via Instagram or Facebook.
Have the best day ever.